Welcome, everyone. We're diving into a pretty hot topic today in healthcare, the kind of evolving relationship between physicians and technology.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. And we're going to be exploring a LinkedIn post by Dr. Joel Brown. He's better known online as SupaDoc.
Oh, yeah, SupaDoc.
And it really ignited some passionate discussion amongst healthcare professionals.
Absolutely.
And this post was so interesting because he quoted another physician, Dr. Spencer Dorn.
Right.
And he said something that I think really resonated with a lot of folks.
Yeah, for sure.
Dr. Dorn said, "I sometimes detect a strain of disdain towards physicians.
Ooh.
Yet those who advocate, even fetishize replacing us with software, vastly oversimplify what we actually do, how messy medicine actually is, and how much people usually love their physicians."
Yeah.
And I thought that was such a powerful statement because it really gets to the heart of, I think, the anxieties many people have about the role of technology in healthcare. Yeah, it really does. And it's interesting because the context of this quote was, Dr. Brown shared it in response to an article about the potential for artificial intelligence to replace physicians altogether.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, like, completely.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit. Who is Dr. Joel Brown, and why should we care what he has to say about this? Why is his perspective so important?
Well, for starters, he's not just, some armchair commentator.
Right.
Dr. Brown is a practicing physician with a wealth of experience across various medical fields. He holds a ton of qualifications.
Like what?
He's got MBCHB, MRCGP, MCFP, CCFP, CPSO, MRS, MMFM, FRSA.
Wow.
Basically, he's been around the block.
It sounds like.
And has seen firsthand how healthcare is delivered.
So he's not just talking the talk, he's walking the walk.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's his take on this whole tech takeover idea?
Well, he's actually quite nuanced in his view.
Okay.
He acknowledges that there are valid criticisms that are leveled at physicians.
Yeah.
Things like, the high costs, the potential for human error, the difficulty in scaling up services.
Sure.
But he argues that those who advocate for, just a wholesale replacement with software
Right.
are missing a crucial point,
Okay.
which is the inherent complexity and messiness of human health.
So it's not as simple as just plugging symptoms into an algorithm and getting a diagnosis.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Dr. Brown emphasizes that medicine is about more than just tasks and algorithms. It's about context, trust, and understanding the individual patient's story.
It's so personal.
Exactly. And those are all elements that technology, at least in its current form, struggles to grasp.
It makes you wonder if we're at risk of losing something vital if we become too reliant on technology in healthcare.
Yeah, I think that's a question a lot of people are grappling with.
Right.
And, Dr. Brown isn't alone in his concerns.
Yeah.
Many of his colleagues who chimed in on the post echoed this sentiment.
Like who? Give us some examples.
Well, I can't share names because, confidentiality.
Of course.
But the response from fellow physicians was overwhelming.
Oh.
One colleague, a seasoned cardiologist, shared how years of experience taught him to recognize subtle cues
Right.
that an algorithm might miss.
Like what? What kind of cues?
Like a slight change in a patient's demeanor, or a subtle heart murmur that's not always apparent on an EKG.
It's like that intuition you develop after years of practice.
Yeah.
Like a sixth sense, almost.
Exactly. Another colleague, a family physician, spoke about the importance of building rapport with patients, especially when, dealing with sensitive issues. It's
Right.
about creating a safe space for people to open up and share, their fears and concerns.
That human connection is so crucial.
Absolutely.
Especially in healthcare.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like we're hearing from a lot of folks that while there's a place for technology,
Yes.
it shouldn't come at the expense of the human touch.
Yeah.
So it's not about rejecting technology outright,
Right.
but rather about finding the right balance
Right.
and ensuring that it's used in a way that benefits both patients and healthcare providers.
Absolutely. That's precisely Dr. Brown's point.
Okay.
He sees physicians as playing a crucial role in shaping the future of health tech.
It makes sense. Their expertise and insights are essential in guiding the development and implementation of these tools
Yeah.
in a way that's safe, effective, and equitable.
Right.
So we need to make sure that technology serves humanity,
Yes.
not the other way around.
Definitely. And that requires careful consideration of the potential benefits and pitfalls
Right.
of integrating AI and other med tech into healthcare.
Okay, let's dive into that. What are some of the pros and cons we need to be aware of when it comes to integrating these technologies?
Well, on the plus side, AI has the potential to revolutionize many aspects of healthcare.
Okay.
Like it can analyze vast amounts of data to identify patterns and trends that humans might miss, leading to earlier diagnoses and more effective treatments.
So it can almost enhance our own abilities to see things that we might not catch otherwise.
Right. And it can help streamline administrative tasks.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah, freeing up physicians to spend more time with patients.
Right.
It can even personalize treatment plans based on an individual's genetic makeup and lifestyle.
Oh, wow. That all sounds incredibly promising.
It does.
But what about the potential downsides?
Right. Well, one of the biggest concerns is the risk of bias creeping into these algorithms.
Okay.
Like, if the data used to train AI is skewed or incomplete, it can perpetuate existing healthcare disparities.
Oh, wow.
And lead to inaccurate diagnoses or inappropriate treatment recommendations.
So it could actually do more harm than good in some cases?
Potentially, yeah.
And then there's the issue of privacy and security, right?
Absolutely.
Like these AI systems often require access to sensitive patient information.
Yeah.
And that raises concerns about data breaches and potential misuse.
Right.
It's a lot to consider, and we also have to think about the potential impact on the doctor-patient relationship, right? If patients feel like they're interacting with a machine rather than a human, it could erode trust and make them less likely to share important information or follow treatment plans.
It's true.
And for physicians, over-reliance on technology could lead to a decline in clinical skills and judgment.
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
So it seems like there's a real tension here between the potential benefits of these technologies and the very real risks they pose.
Yeah, absolutely.
How does Dr. Brown reconcile these competing forces?
Well, he advocates for what he calls winsome, safe, and equitable implementation.
Winsome, what does that mean?
So winsome, meaning that technology should be designed in a way that's user-friendly and appealing to both patients and providers.
Okay, that makes sense. Safe, meaning that rigorous testing and oversight are crucial to ensure accuracy, reliability, and patient safety.
Exactly.
And equitable, meaning that access to these technologies and their benefits should be distributed fairly across all populations.
Right.
Regardless of socioeconomic status or geographic location. So he's really emphasizing that we can't just blindly embrace technology without carefully considering its potential impact on the human side of healthcare.
Absolutely.
This is fascinating stuff, and I'm already feeling like I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
What else can you tell us about Dr. Brown's perspective on this?
Well, one of the key things he emphasizes is the need for physicians to be actively involved in shaping the development and implementation of health tech.
It makes sense. Who better to understand the nuances of patient care and the potential pitfalls of technology than those on the front lines of medicine?
Exactly. Dr. Brown argues that physicians need to be at the table, working alongside engineers and data scientists to ensure that these technologies are designed and implemented in a way that truly enhances patient care.
So it's about collaboration and finding a way for technology to complement, not replace, the expertise and judgment of physicians.
Exactly. He sees physicians as playing a critical role in bridging the gap between the world of technology and the world of human health.
So it sounds like Dr. Brown is advocating for a more thoughtful and a more human-centered approach to integrating technology into healthcare.
Absolutely. He believes that technology should be a tool that empowers physicians to provide better care, not a force that diminishes their role or dehumanizes the patient experience.
Yeah, that makes sense. That raises a really interesting question, though. How do we ensure that technology enhances that human connection in healthcare rather than eroding it?
That's a crucial question, and one that's at the forefront of many discussions about the future of medicine.
Right.
You know, one of the concerns raised by Dr. Brown and his colleagues is the potential for technology to create a sense of distance between physicians and patients.
I can see that happening. If patients feel like they're just interacting with a screen or an algorithm, it could make them feel less heard and understood.
Exactly. The doctor-patient relationship is built on trust and empathy and open communication.
Right.
And while technology can certainly facilitate some aspects of that relationship, you know, it's important to ensure that it doesn't become a barrier to genuine human connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how do we strike that balance? How do we harness the power of technology without sacrificing the human touch that's so essential to healing?
It's a complex challenge, but Dr. Brown offers some insightful suggestions. He emphasizes the importance of human-centered design in health tech.
Okay.
Meaning that these tools should be designed with the needs and experiences of both patients and providers in mind.
So it's not just about functionality, but also about usability and how these technologies integrate into the real-world workflows of healthcare settings.
Right. He also stresses the need for transparency and explainability in AI systems.
Okay.
So patients and physicians need to understand how these algorithms work, what data they're based on, and how they arrive at their conclusions.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're going to trust a machine with your health, you need to know what's going on under the hood.
Yeah, transparency builds trust. And it also helps to identify and mitigate potential biases that can creep into these algorithms. And speaking of biases, Dr. Brown is particularly concerned about the potential for technology to exacerbate existing healthcare disparities.
And we've seen examples of this in other fields, right? Where algorithms have been shown to perpetuate racial or gender bias. How do we prevent that from happening in healthcare?
It requires a multifaceted approach.
Yep.
First and foremost, we need to ensure that the data used to train these algorithms is diverse and representative of the populations they're intended to serve.
Yeah, that's crucial. If you're only training an AI system on data from one demographic group, it's going to be less accurate and potentially even harmful when applied to other groups.
Right. We also need to involve diverse voices in the development and implementation of these technologies, including physicians from underrepresented communities, patients from various backgrounds, and ethicists who can help anticipate and address potential biases.
So it's not just about the tech itself, but also about the people and the processes involved in its creation and use.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing that technology is not a panacea for all of healthcare's challenges.
Right.
It's a tool that needs to be wielded thoughtfully and carefully.
Speaking of challenges, one of the biggest hurdles to integrating technology into healthcare is the sheer complexity of the system itself.
That's a great point. Healthcare is a tangled web of different stakeholders and regulations and legacy systems,
Right.
which can make it incredibly difficult to implement new technology seamlessly.
Yeah, and it's not just a technical challenge, it's also a cultural one. There can be resistance to change, especially when it comes to adopting new technologies that might disrupt traditional ways of doing things.
It's true. Dr. Brown acknowledges these challenges, but remains optimistic about the potential for technology to improve healthcare if we approach it with the right mindset.
So what does he suggest?
He emphasizes the need for collaboration and communication across all stakeholders, including physicians, hospital administrators, tech developers, and policymakers.
Okay.
He believes that by working together, we can create a more integrated and patient-centered healthcare system that leverages technology in a way that benefits everyone.
It sounds like a tall order, but certainly one worth striving for. You know, it feels like we've only just scratched the surface of this whole topic.
It's true. AI in healthcare is a vast and evolving landscape. And, we could spend hours discussing its various facets. But one area I think is particularly important to focus on is the impact of AI on the role of the physician.
Yeah, we've touched on this a little bit throughout our conversation, but I'm eager to hear more of your thoughts on how this relationship is likely to change.
Well, one thing is clear. AI is not going to replace physicians anytime soon.
Okay.
However, it will undoubtedly transform the way they practice medicine.
So in what ways?
For starters, AI will take on many of the routine and time-consuming tasks that currently burden physicians, like data entry, medical billing, and even preliminary diagnosis based on symptoms and medical history.
That sounds amazing. I mean, that would be a huge relief for a lot of doctors who are already so stretched thin.
Absolutely. It will free up their time and mental energy to focus on what they do best, providing personalized care, building relationships with patients, and making complex medical decisions.
So AI will become like a really powerful tool that augments the physician's expertise and allows them to practice at the top of their license.
Precisely. And as AI systems become more sophisticated, they will be able to provide increasingly valuable insights and support to physicians.
Can you give me some examples?
Sure. Imagine an AI system that can analyze a patient's entire medical history, genetic profile, lifestyle factors, and current symptoms.
Wow.
To generate a personalized risk assessment for various diseases.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
Especially for preventative care and early intervention.
Exactly. Or an AI system that can assist with surgical planning by creating 3D models of a patient's anatomy and simulating different surgical approaches.
That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It is becoming a reality. And these are just a few examples of how AI is poised to revolutionize the practice of medicine.
Yeah, it's exciting to think about the possibilities, but I wonder about the challenges that come with integrating such powerful technologies into healthcare.
You're right, there will be challenges. One of the biggest will be ensuring that physicians are adequately trained to work effectively with AI.
What kind of training will be needed?
Well, physicians will need to develop a basic understanding of how AI works, its strengths and limitations, and how to interpret its output.
Okay.
They'll also need to learn how to interact with AI systems effectively and incorporate their insights into their clinical decision-making.
So it sounds like medical education will need to kind of adapt to this new technological landscape.
Absolutely. Medical schools are already starting to incorporate more data science and AI training into their curricula.
Yeah, and I imagine continuing education is going to become even more important as this AI technology is rapidly evolving.
Right, exactly. Another challenge will be ensuring that AI systems are used responsibly and ethically.
That's such a crucial point, and we've talked about, the potential for bias in AI, as well as concerns about privacy and data security.
Yes, it's essential to have safeguards in place to mitigate these risks. We need to make sure that AI systems are trained on diverse and representative data sets and that they are designed to be transparent and accountable.
Absolutely. And we need to make sure that patients understand how their data is being used and have control over their privacy.
Yeah, these are all important considerations, and they will require ongoing dialogue and collaboration between the tech industry, the healthcare community, and policymakers.
So really, everybody needs to be involved.
Yeah, it's a complex landscape, but one that's full of potential.
I agree. And I believe that by approaching this challenge with a spirit of innovation and a commitment to ethical principles, we can harness the power of AI to create a healthcare system that is more effective, more efficient, and more equitable for all. It's an inspiring vision. As we're wrapping up this deep dive, I'm left with a sense of both excitement and caution.
Yeah, I understand. It's a time of great change and uncertainty, but also a time of immense opportunity.
It's a really interesting time to be alive. And it's also a time when the role of the physician is more important than ever.
Absolutely. While AI will undoubtedly transform the way medicine is practiced, it will never replace the human connection that is at the heart of healing.
That's a powerful reminder. To our listener out there, thank you so much for joining us on this journey of exploration.
Yes, we hope this deep dive has provided you with valuable insights and sparked your curiosity about the future of AI in healthcare.
As technology continues to advance, it's essential that we engage in thoughtful and informed discussions about its implications.
Yeah, and that we work together to shape a future where AI is used to enhance human well-being, not diminish it.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.